All right, what's going on? I am on Periscope and YouTube going live because I got some concerns on my head. Yes, yes, yes. So here's the thing, we got teachers getting jumped at school. Teachers getting jumped at school. So, my motto, Hunts, as Brand Nubian used to say back in the day when I was in college, okay, love my 90s hip hop music. Punks jump up to get beat down. You don't want none of this, okay? Here's the thing, it's disheartening to me as I hear these stories about teachers getting threatened in the classroom, getting hit, assaulted, abused, all kinds of things. It really disheartens me as I see my colleagues going through this. I've seen numerous stories all over social media, and I want to come on my platform today to kind of talk about this because I'm sick and tired of seeing this disrespect. So, check this out. Last week, you had Mr. Riley, a music teacher, who is at a school that is by far a school that has kids in it that has some control issues. And so this particular situation happened where the student had previous run-ins with the teacher. Keep that in mind. The student already had previous issues with the teacher. So as a result, you have these kids who figure, well, you know what? I ain't gonna lose. And see, if you don't have anything to lose, you don't know what you gotta do to get in trouble. I know back in the day, I used to have my time or two, okay, but I always maintained respect for my teachers because I knew at the end of the day, I would get in trouble when I got home. Now, I may have talked back, you know how we mumble under our breaths, hoping that the teacher didn't hear us. I did that kind of thing, but I never would disrespect my teachers by saying curse words or even thinking about putting my hands on them. So to hear these stories of these kids doing all these things really breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because these are the very kids who are going to be running this country when I get old. And so we got to think, do we want these kind of kids running the class in this country one day? So if you hear about what Tupac said, I love Tupac. He said, thug life, the hate you give little infants ups everybody. Okay. So if you don't treat kids with respect, what do you think is going to happen as they get older? So if I go back and think about what Tupac was going through, and at the time that he put that untimely message out, he was clear that the hate you give little infants will F everybody. So if you want to think about how we're mistreating our children, this is the end result. So we have a lot of kids who are misguided, misplaced, and they don't know which way they're coming or going. So last week, the student that got into it with the music teacher had previous run-ins with this teacher. So he decides to call him everything but a child of God. Now, let's be clear. You can say everything you want to say, but the moment you put your hands on me, we don't know what could possibly happen. Okay. So let's be clear on that. Let's be clear on that. The thing I don't like is the fact that so many people are saying, well, the teacher should have had restraint. Well, let's keep this in mind. The student did not have the right to assault the teacher. See, what you all are saying is basically a one-sided issue. You're seeing the teacher blaming in on the student. But what you don't see is what led up to that. The student was upset because the teacher said, I guess his uniform wasn't appropriate. So I guess the student heard about this through some of his peers and decided to come in and confront the teacher, interrupting the classroom to confront the teacher. So he comes in, calls him everything but the child of God, calls him the N word, in this, in that, said to my face, you punk, said to my face. Really though? And I guess the teacher wasn't really phased. He was tuning him out. That wasn't good enough. So the student decides to get mad, takes the basketball that he had in his hand, throws it towards the teacher. So the teacher standing there like, okay, this boy did not just throw this ball. This kid did not just assault me. So what do you think was the next course of action? Teacher walks away, comes back. Boom, he stole on that child. And then it progressed to the other side of the classroom. Now, some people are saying, why didn't they get the principal to come in? Well, first of all, you have to remember the type of school that you're dealing with. And in various school systems, if you keep calling the principal, if you keep sending the child out of your classroom, that makes you as a teacher look bad. They figured you don't know how to control your classroom. So we're not going to renew your contract for next year. It's a double-edged sword in the classroom. My last year of teaching high school, I had a student who was a senior taking my chemistry class. This joker got mad at me because I told him to put his yearbook up. We're not done with instruction. So you need to put your yearbook up. He didn't like what I told him. He started getting sassy with me, and I told him he could leave. And of course, it flipped. You MF, you B, I'll kill you. I do all this. Oh, really though? Well, you can get your sugar honey iced tea and get out of my classroom. I let him know I am not the one and you don't want none of this. See, when you let people know where you stand, when you let your kids know, your students know that you can be just as crazy as they are, sometimes they can back off. But what I'm not going to let my students do is disrespect me, okay? Now, on the collegiate level, I've had my share of students also who want to go there and buck with me on the collegiate level. And I tell them the same thing. I will respect you as long as you respect me. You don't want none of me. I promise you don't. But see, here's the thing though. Students tend to think that teachers aren't going to do anything. Now, I don't know about y'all, but as for me, I'm not going to let a student, whether it's on the collegiate level or on the high school level, disrespect me. Now, in the afternoons, I have an outreach, a STEM outreach program where I go into the community and I do programs with kids on the elementary and middle school level. And occasionally you have a child who will talk back, do those kinds of things. And I let them know enough is enough. I have expensive equipment, robots, chemicals, and I have to let them know we will not horseplay with these things because they're expensive. And on the safety measure, you have to be very careful. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can go over there with your teacher and, not be a part of this activity. But for the most part, as long as you set boundaries with your students, you don't have these issues. But getting back to this teacher, though, who got into it, he gets in trouble, he gets arrested, and there was money raised for him on GoFundMe. So a lot of people saying he should have exercised restraint. Let me say this. Buck if you want to a police officer. What do you think is going to happen if you offer the police officer's face bucking, doing all this and doing all that? What do you think is going to happen? You think he's just going to say, okay, pal, get out my face, get out my face? No, he's going to either taser your ass or he's going to shoot you. He or she is going to do one of those two things. Okay? So teachers are considered a person of authority as well. And I don't know why people get it twisted in thinking that we take and tolerate things from our students. That's not happening over here with me, with Professor TK the chemist, or on the collegiate level with Professor Schiff. I don't handle those things too well. 2 years ago, I had a student who got an attitude with me because she didn't think that I was explaining the problem to her very well. And what we were doing, we were going over stoichiometry. And any of you all that are looking at this who knows about stoichiometry and you know about chemical equations and reactions, that's a very tough subject. So we were already dealing with something that was very tough. So this student got mad at me. She talked about me in third person and said, she ain't teaching right. She don't know what she's talking about. My ears went off. I let her know, hold up. What you're not getting ready to do is disrespect me, okay? You in my house. You're not going to disrespect me in my classroom or your peers. I had answered your question and told you what you need to know, but that wasn't good enough. So if you don't like what I'm saying and you're having a problem with it, let's go back to the problem. What we're not going to do is go tit for tat based on what you didn't feel I explained to you that was good enough. So she gets all upset with me and starts going off even further. And I told her to leave. She tells me no, she's not going anywhere. So then she slips her book, takes out her phone and says, and I'm going to record you. Look at you. Oh, teacher, look at you. You're being disrespectful. Oh, I went in. I said, I don't care if you do have your phone out. I can say what I want to say and make sure you get this all on tape of what I'm saying. Make sure you record everything. Make sure you say what happened leading up to this moment. Because see, what you're not going to do is piecemeal my conversation and piecemeal this course of action based on what you didn't like. I'll let her have it. I got security. They escorted her out. Do you know this chick waited for me at the bottom of the stairwell? I told her to leave me alone and to be gone. I didn't want to deal with her at that moment. Now, mind you, she got dismissed at the very beginning of the class. So this chick waited for an hour for me, okay? So my point to y'all, though, is simply this. As teachers, we can only do so much, and I am not going to allow students to disrespect me. So for the teacher, the one case where the teacher manhandled that student, that was on that kid's fault. That was his fault. Now let's go to story number 2 in Baltimore, where you had this teacher, this elderly teacher. She probably old enough to be my grandmother. Okay. She comes back from getting cancer treatment. And all of a sudden, this girl, well, I found out that this student is a girl. You know, she looked like a boy because at first I thought she was a boy, the way she was carrying herself. But reading through the comments, and I went back and looked at the video over and over and over. Yeah, she's a girl. She come in saying, "You know, talk your stuff to me now," and she pots the teacher. I was like, "What the?" I couldn't believe it. This girl had the audacity to punch her teacher in the face. And then the teacher walks out like it was nothing and saying, "I'm sorry, I'm trying to explain." No, ain't no I'm sorry. You hit me. I just got through dealing with cancer treatment and you're going to put your paws on me? Nah, son. Mm-mm. That child should not be able to come back to that classroom, nor should that child be allowed on school grounds. When you lose your temper and hit an elder, okay, an elder, you know who has some compromising health issues. You ain't right upstairs. Dr. Patricia Newton out of Baltimore, Maryland, made a profound statement. She talked about a lot of the issues that come off the eastern shores of Bmore, and that there's a lot of situations going on with these kids or with the community at large. That there was a lot of stuff that happened during slavery time. So when you have a lot of incestual behaviors, those genes are too close together. And as a biology and chemistry professor, we know when you mix those genes together, the outcome of your children is a little loose in the head. Now, we shouldn't use this as an excuse, but it is what it is. A lot of these kids are not wrapped too tight, and it's because of trauma that they are experiencing at home. So if you felt like you could put your hands on a teacher, we already know what's going on in your household, the lack of respect. So punks jump up to get beat down is when I titled this video, is to basically tell y'all, look, as teachers, we got to come together. We got to take back our classrooms. We got to stop accepting these behaviors from these kids. I don't like what I'm hearing, these stories with these teachers who are getting assaulted. I don't. Because you don't use that same energy when it comes to doing the right thing. You don't. It just really bothers me. We got a lot of, look, in a lot of communities that are impoverished, there's a lot of heavy metals in their water system. So that's causing a lot of metal on the brain, excuse me. And as a result, you've got kids who are confused. Kids who are confused don't know which way they're coming or going. And I just can't understand, what have we raised here? I'm serious. Like, what have we raised? A lot of these kids have gone through some very traumatic issues. But you know what? I don't believe in using excuses, though. I just don't think we should be using excuses, because at the end of the day, when you go out here into society, people don't know your past. They don't know that you come from a broken home or single parent, 2 parents, nobody raised you. People don't know that. But we will always want to use excuses for why kids are doing what they're doing, but it's deeper than that. So again, thug life. Tupac said it best, thug life. The hate you give little infants F's everybody. So if we don't take care of our kids, they're not going to take care of us. We'll have a race of babies that hate the ladies. What do you think is happening now with the disrespect of women? There have been many times when I've gone on campus, students don't catch the door for me. I shouldn't have to put my badge on for you to see I'm a person of authority. You know what I mean? I'm a teacher. So that should elevate your mind frame and say, oh, yeah, let me catch that door. I had a student who was in the middle of a conversation, not my own student, who was talking to a person. He said, oh, hold up, bro. He ran back around, caught the door for me. I was like, that's what's up. Thank you. We don't have enough of this going on. I have a son, and I tell my son when he was younger, you got two people you're responsible for whenever you're out, your sisters. When you're out, you see an older person, whether it's a man or woman, you get the door for them. You honor your elders. Second person, babies. If you see a woman who has children, get the door for them. And then, of course, women, women. It's just sad how a lack of respect has caused a lot of the issues that we see. But you know what? We got to trace it also down to the food. The food. What are you feeding your kids or not feeding your kids? I have a group of vitamins that I give my children. Okay, there two of my kids are in college already, so they've continued that routine. But the lack of nutrition is causing our kids to be off the chain. Think about what we ate back in the day. Fast forward to today. What are the kids eating today? They're eating a lot of chemicalized food. And you put a lot of stuff in your body, a lot of crap in your body. What do you think is going to be produced as a result? Parents going to have to stop being lazy. Now, my last daughter is in high school, so she knows when I don't feel like cooking, she knows how to go in there and get it. When her father don't feel like cooking, she knows how to go in there and get it. So it's no excuse. You got to teach your children what they need to know so they don't depend on anybody else for their safety, for their sanity. Thug life. The hate you give little infants F's everybody. A race of babies that hate the ladies. So we got to do our part, y'all. We really do. Because I'm going to tell you, the longer we keep letting these things go and ride, we're going to continue to see these things. This is why I do what I do. This is why I do what I do. I go out into the community and I provide STEM activities. Because I know when I was younger, science was not fun for me. Science was not interesting for me. I didn't like science. I'm glad I changed my mind because it was my high school chemistry teacher that made me look at science in a different way, along with Dr. Macy Jameson. But we got to do something to get our kids back in order. Now, when I first started teaching 21 years ago, I used to say, I want to save all of my kids. I want to save all of the youth. I want to save them. But I can't save them all. No matter how hard I try, I can't save them all. Some kids, you got to let them go. I want all of my students to make A's in my class, but they're all not wanting to put in the work. You got to put in the work. Put in the work. I tell them every week, you got to work hard to fail my class. And if you fail my class, that's on you. Because I make my class such that even a person who doesn't know anything about chemistry or biology got to be able to walk into my classroom and feel at home. I make learning in a relaxed environment. But thug life, the hate you give little infants will F everybody. Okay. So y'all be good, be great. Don't let anyone lower your aura just because they aren't in the right space. I say this every week. I have a podcast called the More Than Just Science Show, and it's on Speaker. And you can catch me on Instagram at TK the Chemist or on YouTube. But I say this all the time. Don't let anyone lower your aura just because they aren't in the right space or frame of mind. Always remember, you can, you will, you must. Go out there and make it happen, y'all. Make it happen. Do you. Don't let anyone get you off your rock. Don't let anyone knock you off your block. Stay focused. I know we should exercise some restraint when people say things. Trust and believe. There have been many times where I've ignored stupid people. And then depending on how I'm feeling that day, you may get the other side of me. Maybe that's just the Scorpio in me. We'll do right by you, but mess up, you get stoned. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say, y'all. I got to get ready for my next class, but I just wanted to hop on to tell you all, don't let anyone knock you down. Get back up. But go out and talk to some kids. Just tell them that they're going to be somebody special one day. I say this to thousands of kids every year. You're going to be special. You are going to be somebody. And even if I've said that to at least one child and it changes that one child's life, I'm honored that I had the privilege to stand before them to tell them that. My students as well, because my students go through stuff too. They tell me some of the craziest things. Some of them have shared that they are getting abused at home by their significant other or that they're homeless. And it's hard to hear these stories because I can't help them. I can give them resources, but I can't help them all. But we've got to honor our children. We got to honor our elders also. We got to do right by those two groups of people, our elders and our children. Our elders and our children. Thug life. We got to take care of our kids. We got to take care of our elders. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. Grab me something to eat, and I'm out. Peace. And make sure y'all share this with other people that could benefit from this, y'all. I don't know. Just share. Sharing is caring, as the Care Bears say. Sharing is caring, okay? All right. Peace.